Hey, 2 a.m. with Jason. Hope you guys are doing well. Looking at Luke chapter 20 and the parable of the tenants. And I'm going to be honest, some of us are better procrastinators than others. Sometimes there's some certain things that we are better at procrastinating than others. Um, and sometimes we just put off what we don't want to deal with. And, you know, uh, the tenants, they did that same thing. They didn't want to deal with the issue, and so they just kind of pushed it under the rug. Growing up, we had chores, and one of them was to clean the different rooms and the downstairs. And um, lo and behold, if there were some siblings, I'm not saying who, that would take the stuff and actually would hide it under the couch. So mom had to start looking under the couch to make sure that the stuff was actually put away. They'd also have to sometimes they would just take it and put it right inside someone else's room, like go from the dining room to the living room, just kind of tuck it right back there because they didn't know where it went. So it goes somewhere in there. I just don't want to deal with it. And and that's what we do sometimes. When we don't want to deal with things, we just say, "How can I get out of this? Like, how can I get out of this? I don't want to have to worry about it. I don't. I want to get out of it." Um, and and that's exactly where they were. They kind of felt trapped. You know, they were here. They were doing a job, and maybe they just said, I don't want to give this food. I don't want to do this. And despite the multiple warnings, the multiple times, like, hey, you got to deal with this, they didn't. They chose to delay, and then they chose to, well, to ultimately kill the son because they were desperate. I remember growing up, we had a dog, and super gentle dog, uh, but you don't back a dog into the corner because when you feel trapped, bad things can happen. And in this case, I think the tenants, they kind of felt trapped, and the reality is that, the Pharisees go away after hearing this parable and they're like, "Arr." And yet, maybe this parable isn't just about the Pharisees. Maybe it's kind of about us. You think about the people that should know better, like the Pharisees, they should have known better. And yet God had to keep coming to them saying, hey, hey, hey. And does he do that with us? Does he have to keep coming to us and say, so like, I wanted you to deal with this. I wanted you to take care of this. I wanted you to get rid of this sin. I wanted you to take care of, have you invited these people yet to church? Like, what are you doing? What are you waiting for? And too often, we kind of do the same thing and say, you know what? I'm just putting it off. I'm putting it off. And then finally, there's the drastic step of something that we say, I'm done. Um, Reality check, though. Even after they killed the son, did it actually solve the problem? It didn't. And so even after we think, I'm going to do this crazy thing so that God just stops bothering me, that I'm just like, I'm done with this situation. God's like, it still has to be dealt with. We can't get out. We can't get out of sin by ourselves. I joke about, when it comes to this, thinking about my youngest children. Actually, we even keep Lark out of this. Those middle two crazy ones. And when they eat and they get messy, they can't clean themselves up. It's hilarious to watch them try. It was so sweet the other night. Ezra had some stuff dripping on his chin, and Maggie went, "Oh, oh!" And so she went and got a napkin and helped him, and he thought that was great until she spilled her milk, and then he got up and said, "Oh, oh!" and went and got a napkin and helped her clean. It was just like, this is great, guys. This is great. Um, Except neither of them did a great job with it. It's even when you try, we can't clean ourselves up. But anyway, the reality check, it didn't go away, and so I want you to think, what are the things that happen? Can we run from God? Can we hide from the sin? Can we say, I'm just going to skip church? I'm just going to avoid talking to those people because they ask me the hard questions. I'm just going to avoid these things because I don't want to be confronted with what I know I need to deal with. And maybe be challenged to not be the tenants, to take the wake up calls that God gives and say, hey, I need Everything that God has given us is it. Every good and perfect gift comes from above, comes from the Father. And so everything, our time, our finances, our abilities, the air that we breathe is His. And so when God says, hey, I need this from you, what right do we have to delay and to put off and to say, no, God, you don't understand? God's like, no, wait a sec. You are working for me. If you're a Christian, you're working for me. You're working for me. Challenged me. I hope it challenges you to not put off the things that we need to do and to listen, because God's got plans and He has desires for us. He has believed in us. He's invested in us. He's trusted us. But it's His. So just a thought. May God bless you today as you think about it. Take care.